You're listening to Rise to Your Purpose, a personal and spiritual development podcast for female entrepreneurs with a mission.
We're your hosts, Brandie and Natalie.
Welcome to another episode of Rise to Your Purpose. On today's episode, you're going to hear from Natalie and Brandie, and we're going to be sharing our top takeaways of 2020. We're so excited to share the wisdom that God has imparted on us throughout the year and share with you what we have gained and learned over the different experiences that 2020 brought us. So we hope you enjoy.
Share too, though, with you guys our top takeaways from 2020 for building your business and for just revealing and showing you guys what God has shown us throughout the year, including this awesome song that we came across and hoping to just impart to you just the wisdom that we've gained. And we'd love to also just hear from you. What have you learned this year? What are some top takeaways you've had in 2020? What has God revealed to you? And what are you going to take into 2021? So we're excited to dive in.
Yeah, so welcome everybody. If you're new to my page or our podcast, because we're going to be doing this replay on the podcast, my name is Brandie Thomas, and this is my sister Natalie Lawson. And we are hanging out tonight together, and we're coming live to share with you our top things that we've learned and we've been reflecting on for 2020. Before we get started, we want to do a shout out and a gratitude shout out to everybody who has pre-ordered our Rise to Your Purpose devotional. This is a 30-day interactive devotional for women who want to shine their light in the business world. So pre-orders at our website are on sale now through the end of through the end of December 31st, and you're going to receive an autographed copy from us. We have 3 awesome bonuses that you get when you fill out the pre-order cart. You'll get redirected to our bonuses and get access to that. And so we're just so excited to have this God-sized dream come to reality, and just thank you so much for all of the love and support that you guys have given us. We are just praying over these devotionals and every woman who reads them that this is a transformation, and the 30 days that you do go through our devotional really just bless you and guide you as you learn to shine your light in the business world. So thank you so much. So let's dive into what the stuff we learned in 2020. So Natalie's going to kick us off with the first one.
Yeah, so this is really cool. I feel like, I know it's been a crazy year, but I also feel like it's been a huge blessing in disguise. And for me, it was like God just all of a sudden was like, hey, you wanted more time, so I'm giving you more time. What are you going to do with it? And so I really dove into faith and to business, really just saying yes to a lot of things that came my way back in March and April. And I was introduced to Ashley Nicole. Some of you have heard me talk about her. She has been interviewed on our podcast. She has been interviewed in our Purpose Partner community. And I just cannot say enough good things about her and just the wisdom that she has and she imparts on people. And she always brings it back to just glorifying God and it being about your relationship and growing deeper with the Lord and what He has for you, and really taking the light off of us, and really putting it back on Him. And one of the biggest things that I got from her was really learning how to operate your business and your life from a place of rest. And so what it really is like shifting everything, shifting your mindset, shifting your spirit, your body, and really coming from a place of getting rid of the anxiousness, the overwhelming feelings, the stress, and getting away from glorifying the hustle and the grind and really moving into that place of rest to where, and I don't know, do you have Jesus calling around here at all?
It sounds right.
Actually, I think I took took a picture of it because I thought this is what operating in rest means. And if any of you, I want to know, put Jesus calling if any of you also read that devotional. And it talked about taking time to be still in my presence so that I can strengthen you and preparing the road ahead. It says the busier you become, the more you need this time apart with me. So many people think that time spent with me is a luxury they cannot afford. As a result, they live and work in their own strength until that becomes depleted. And I know for a long time, like we got really
Mm-hmm.
caught up in just the wanting to be successful and wanting to just always, we've always been taught to work hard, like work hard for what you want and what you have. And, if that means you do stay up late or whatever, like do that. And you have to hit goals. Like we're just always we started out in that exciting part of when you start a business, right? You're really
Mm-hmm.
excited and you do want to put a lot of work into it, but it almost took over some parts of our lives that it shouldn't have. And so I really had to shift everything I was doing, because you also can get caught up at comparing yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of you have struggled with comparing yourself to other people, or feeling stressed out, or feeling like you're not good enough, or like you're not worthy. And all of these negative thoughts and emotions can come through, and that's because we're working and operating out of this place of strife, and we're operating out of this place of people pleasing and of trying to do and sound like we think people want us to, instead of operating from the rest and operating out of the spirit. And I love this says that as a result, if we take time to rest in him, to have that time with him, then it says how much better it is to walk close to me, depending on my strength and trusting me in every situation. If you live in this way, you will
Mm-hmm.
do less but accomplish far more, and your unhurried pace of living will stand out in a rush crazed age, and be more blessed and live in peacefulness. So like I love that, because that really is, any of the times that I really was operating from a place of rest, I had peace, I had joy, I was calm. My business was has been exploding this year. It's really been a year of acceleration. I've had woken up to messages and things, and it was like not by anything necessarily that I did. Yes, I'm consistent. Yes, I show up. Yes, I have been and come more confidently and boldly and rise as a leader, but I haven't really, like, those results have all come from him. And I really truly believe it's because I shifted into that new way of thinking and that new way of working, that I don't have to be in hustle mode all the time and that grind and being reactive. It's all about being proactive and really just working alongside of God and letting him really be the leader and the CEO. And am I not perfect at that all the time? Heck no. But that has been a huge blessing and a huge takeaway from this year for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the second thing that we learned is how to identify as a kingdompreneur. So putting our identity in Christ and not in the world's expectations in our businesses and what people think of us, but putting our worth and our identity in the foundation as a daughter of Christ, which means, guess what? You get to put your crown on. You get to claim your crown as an heir to the throne of Jesus Christ, of God. Like you're a daughter of royalty. So let that set in for a minute and like put that identity on you and walk in that identity as I am a beloved daughter of a king, which means makes me royalty, which means I get to claim my crown, which means I have access to all of the promises that God has ever spoken in the Bible. And I have access to all of the blessings, all of just like the amazing things that he wants to pour out on his children. And so stepping into that identity, claiming that identity, instead of trying to place my identity in, did I hit a rank this month? Did I get so many customers this month? Did I achieve this goal this month? Like putting my identity in worldly things versus in godly things. That was a huge lesson learned for me. And I think for both of us is just to like place our identity in a strong foundation that we can rely on, no, regardless of where we are in our life. So that was something that was I loved, and then also placing that identity as a Proverbs 31 woman. Like that's the woman I want to be. That's the woman I worked towards being. Somebody who's loved by her husband and her children, who's respected in her community, who's able to serve her community, who's able to show up and create a profitable business. She makes wise business decisions. And yeah, she's just giving and she's respected. So this is somebody who's strong. She's clothed with strength and dignity. So when I'm saying I am statements or affirmations, I'm finding verses that I can activate, promises that I can activate, speak over my life and step into that character, step into that identity. And it's just been such a game changer. And like Natalie was talking about, operating from a place of rest, having that internal peace, that joy, that confidence, that Holy Spirit empowerment. And that comes when you put on the identity as a daughter of a king, instead of putting on the identity that the world, which is so just like all over the place, so jaded, so disconnected when you put on the world's identity versus the pure, amazing, loving, confident, empowered identity of a daughter of a king. So that's the second thing that we've learned this month or this year.
All right. And then a huge thing and way that we were able to really start growing our businesses. And it was really neat because we follow, especially I listen to almost every day, Church for Entrepreneurs. And it's a podcast and led by Amos Johnson. And he was given the word acceleration, that this would be a year of acceleration, which was interesting than seeing everything that happened. And I think that I've talked to some people, and some people felt like, obviously everybody's experienced this year a little bit differently. But then when we come to social media, I've seen and heard different takes on it. Some people just have hated social media and like they felt like they had to get off of it and just get away. And then other people, like we have completely, like we love social media and have fun on it. And we feel like we have our tribe and our community there. And so one of the things that we really made a huge difference was, again, where is your focus and who are you surrounding yourself with? And we really made a big shift in our social media and up leveling that for one, and realizing that we can curate our social media. I was telling a friend the other day, because she was like, oh, I haven't hardly been on social media because it's just so negative and there's so much politics. And I'm like, well, why is that? Like, why do you have people on your social media that are being like that or not, showing and having the same types of values and positivity that you might want? So you guys have control over your social media. You can choose who you want to follow and who you don't want to follow, who you want to surround yourself with and who you don't. So you can make your social media as lively and as fun as you want it to. And really, if you do it well and you really use the strategy of how you really can curate social media, that can also be an amazing place where you actually build it with your tribe, I like to say vibe tribe of women, of people that you want to surround yourself with and that you would love to work with, that would partner with you in your business and have similar values, have similar dreams and goals and visions. And so being able to actually align with those people, that was like one of the biggest things that we did. We said, we're really going to leverage social media, but in a way that works for us and where it's fun and where we enjoy coming and hanging out with you guys. And so when you can really learn to leverage social media and use it properly and do it in a way where you can really know who it is that you're going to serve and how you're going to show up, that makes all the difference. And then that really helps you with moving into being able to actually close more sales. And so there are specific income producing activities that you can do that will help you close more sales. And if you want those, like we can definitely go over those with you. That's like a whole other training in itself. But knowing that you guys have the control over your social media and what goes in it, what you see, what you do when you're on there, that's going to be income producing, but also be a place where when you're on there, it's intentional and it's purposeful and you're inspiring others, you're helping others along the way, as well as you're following people who are also being able to pour into you. And then with that comes where you have the ability to create multiple streams of income. And that has been a huge blessing because we know how crazy the year has been. There's been so many unknowns. The fact that we've been able to diversify our income streams and being able to hit income goals much faster and have been able to provide for our families in different ways. Like I myself, like lost one of my income streams just like without a warning, really. And so I was so glad that I had already been developing other ways to produce income for us, so that didn't come at a huge shocker. Like, I mean, it was kind of, but like where it wasn't detrimental to our finances. And so definitely that is something going into 2021, you guys, there are some amazing things out there and opportunities. And so this is the year where you can also, I believe we're going into another year of acceleration, honestly. And being able to really leverage social media, create those different streams of income. And like I said, that's all in alignment with who you are, like Brandie said, and going back to your identity and who it is what you're about and how you want to show up and serve people. So that's going to be a huge one. So put MSI if that's something you really want to step into in the new year.
Awesome. That's so funny. I was just getting ready to say that. Okay. The fourth one, the stuff we learned is self-care, routinely self-love, boundaries. This is something that was huge for me, especially as I came into motherhood this year. Building a self-care routine that I could keep up my workouts, have my spiritual life, have my sleep, and have boundaries in place so that I had business time, I had spiritual time, I had family time, I had relationship time, and I wasn't sacrificing. I wasn't feeling resentful because I had put all these boundaries in place so that as I moved into motherhood, as I moved into multiple streams of income, I had these boundaries in place so that I was able to care for myself. I was able to still maintain to a certain extent. Some things obviously changed throughout the year, but maintain like my workout schedule, maintain my faith schedule, maintain like when I get to have family time and when I have business time. And setting those boundaries at the beginning of the year and those non-negotiables and having them align with my core values was just a game changer for one, just my emotional stability, for my what I said yes and no to, because I already had those boundaries in place. So I could be like, this isn't alignment with who I am, who I want to be, where I'm going. So giving me that power to say no and not feeling like I need to please others, and really just gave me confidence and just, yeah, feeling empowered because I could be like, these are my boundaries. I am sticking to them. I'm not bending to other people's needs. And it's just such a better place, especially if you're like a people pleaser and you feel like you're always giving, but you're never really receiving in return. If you're that type of person, you need to drop self-love. If you go to the link in my bio, I have like this free self-love tracker that I created for myself at the beginning of the year, but I wanted to share with you as well, and put up those boundaries for yourself so that you can not fall into a place of resentment, not fall into a place of just feeling discouraged and just like angry at yourself because you broke your commitments. Like actually making boundaries to commit to yourself, commit to your self-care, your self-love, and it's going to allow you to build synergy within your life. And if you followed me along, I talk about that a lot. Like you're never going to find balance, but you can have synergy where everything in your life is working together and flowing together. But you get that by by placing boundaries and having a self-care and self-love routine. Because if you're pouring, you're eventually going to crash and you're not going to be able to serve anybody. But if you're acting like a vase and you're pouring love into yourself, and you're filling yourself so full with love, then love is all that's going to pour out. And that's what I'm all about. I want to be able to serve. I want to be able to show up, but I can't do that unless I take care of myself and I take care of my spiritual needs, my health, my fitness, my family needs, and then have that special place for business as well. So definitely going into 2021, if you have not been putting yourself first, and self-love and self-care is not selfish, it is a non-negotiable, because like I said, if you're tipping yourself over, you're just going to crash. You're not going to be able to serve anybody, and you can create such a bigger impact when you are caring for your body, which your body is a temple. And you can create that kingdom impact when you're coming from a place of being full, because then you have just access to give other people.
Awesome. So, and the last one is really thinking about in the new year, how can you be in the world, but not of the world when achieving your goals? I think that's really like a huge mission behind Victorious Entrepreneurs Rising and our purpose partner community, is that we were really even ourselves craving. And I've been talking to so many incredible women that we have been craving, really bringing that faith back into just our entire being, right? Not like, and really into the business world and into the marketplace. And we really have felt like, and it's been cool to see, like she talked about synergy. I mean, just the women we've met, the like Girl Power Alliance with Michelle Schaefer, with Ashley Nicole, like so many women, Rhonda Sosby, I know Kristen McKee has an awesome community. Like so many of us have been really feeling like we're being called out to really step into our place in the market and really not only build beautiful, profitable businesses, right? But also be able to grow the kingdom. And I think it's really amazing that if we can start coming and showing up more boldly and confidently, and we are creating this success where it's like coming from the Lord, like how much more glory is he going to get when someone asks you, like, how did you do it? I mean, I was operating in rest, or I was praying over my business. Like God is providing. And I think that's the biggest thing too, is that he's revealed himself a lot to us this year of how much he wants to provide and he wants to give, but it really has to be about us releasing. And we talked about this on our last episode, like releasing our expectations, releasing our own like expectations of other people, expectations of ourselves, expectations of what we think things should be or how we should do things, and really let go of all of that and release any of that negativity and be willing to believe in who God says we are. Like believe, because we can believe in other people, we can have other people believe in us, but we truly have, like, we, to become successful, to step into our purpose, we truly have to believe in ourselves too, but believe what God is capable of doing through us, and really rise up then as that leader and as that confident woman in Christ. And do that when you realize that your journey and how you achieve your goals is not going to look exactly like the person next to you. And we can, as coaches, like we can help give you a blueprint and strategies, but ultimately, like we want you to then take the information, take those strategies and use them in a way that's going to work for you and align with how you operate, because, and how the Lord wants you to move, because not everybody is going to get there by doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like you may have to go from here to up here, then maybe over here, then it might be another, like you never know. And I think once I released like how I was going to get somewhere and didn't think I had to do it exactly like, Sally over here, that really took a lot of pressure off and made things a lot more fun, and also allowed God to reveal himself even more and God to work even more. And then it's just been a crazy, amazing to see just the blessings and the abundance that he overflows, and just the more joy that I find in the day-to-day things. And, whether it's just seeing how the sun hits the water. I mean, it's just, you start to see things so differently, and you start to see how he shows up in your life even more. So be prepared for more of what God has for you, but being okay with your route that you take and the timeline may not look exactly like someone else's. And so just going back to John 15, where it talks about abiding in him, that he is the vine and you are the branches, and those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. So we need to continue to do our best, right? Like every day to try and seek him first, to just commune with him, to just pray over, our conversations we're having with people, our calls we're having with prospects, like anything that you're doing, where can you talk to the Lord about it? How can you bring him into it? Because anytime that I have tried to do it on my own and I've tried to figure it out, do you know I lie awake in stress and panic and overwhelm and anxiety? None of that is from God. Like that is not how he wants us to act and to be. And so, but anytime I have given it up to him or journaled my thoughts or I've gone into scripture, it's like, boom, there's the answer. Like our signature program, our devotional, our best workshop we have, all our ideas, all were God inspired. So I think be open this year for more of what God has for you. We want you to, dive into the devotional. Those of you who've gotten the devotional, and really be intentional and take time to really go into those scriptures. Think about and pray over, how does God want you to operate your business this year? How can you really attract prospects from, and your ideal clients from, a place of rest? How can you go from doing the dishes to changing a diaper to talking with your husband to talking with a prospect, all in just a state of flow, so that you can just be overflowing with joy and peace and love, and take time for yourself. You guys, you've just got to, like, I see too many women, they start, like she said, getting resentful, you're mad and angry at people. So we've got to take that time for ourselves so that we can give more fully back to others.
And just don't get caught up in the world too. Like, so many people let the pandemic or whatever, the unrest going on around us just put you in a state of anxiety, depression, and completely took you off focus from what God had in store for you. From you. Guess what? That's exactly what the enemy wanted. That's what he wanted this year. So going into 2021 this year, put your focus back on God, in the Bible, in the Word, and what He's speaking to you, not in what the distractions that the enemy is trying to give you, not in those limiting beliefs that the enemy is giving you, not in the fear that the enemy is giving you, but in the peace, the comforts, the joy, the strength, the empowerment that God is giving you. And when you feel these God-sized dreams that He's placed on your heart to go out and create kingdom impact, and you feel the enemy trying to attack you and bring you down or distract you with what's going on in the world, bring your focus and your energy back to, okay, God, what do you have in store for me? Because there's so many people out there who just let this year plow them over, and just, it's kind of sad. Like, the potential that God had in store for them, the blessings, the gifts that He wanted to give them, were lost because their focus and their energy was on what was happening of the world around them, and they were making themselves of the world instead of just being, you're just a being in the world, you're just passing through, and we're here to create impact while we're in this world. So be in the world, not of the world, and go out and create your kingdom impact, create that influence, be that positive light, and shine your light in the business world. So that's our message for you today. We're hoping you receive it. We're praying for you all. Anything else you want to say, Natalie, before we sign off?
I think that's all. Have a happy new year.
See you later.
Rise to Your Purpose will be a weekly podcast. Our hope is to inspire and educate you on your entrepreneurial journey to help you fuel your passions, live your purpose, and build a business that works for you.
You can subscribe, rate, and comment on any podcast app. We'd love to hear from you. It makes us so happy to see you tuning in to the show. So if you're on Instagram, let us know what your favorite part of the show was by taking a screenshot of the episode you tuned into and tag us at Live Victorious on your story. Let us know what your favorite quote or takeaway from the episode was so that we can be inspired to keep creating content like this for you.
To learn more about us and get involved with our community of mission-driven entrepreneurs, join our Facebook group, Purpose Partners, where we partner together in faith and business. So until next time, build a business that works for you and stay in alignment with your mission.